Okay, Michael, do we have all our guests in?
They kind of trickle in once the meeting starts.
Great. Welcome, everybody, to this special meeting of the Somerville Licensing Commission being conducted on Tuesday, July 29th, 2025. Start time is 6 p.m. Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, this meeting of the Licensing Commission may be conducted via remote participation. We will post an audio recording, audio-video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of these proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting on the City of Somerville website. I'm chairing Commissioner Joe Lynch. Joining me tonight is Commissioner Chris Allen and Commissioner Jack Thomas. Also with us are Captain Richardson from the Somerville Fire Department and Lieutenant Diogo de Oliveira from the Somerville Police Department. Michael Potier from the City Clerk's Office, Director of Operations, is also with us. Mr. Potier, do we have attendees for tonight?
Mr. Chair, through you, Michael Potier, Licensing Operations Manager. I do believe I see representatives from the licensee in the attendance list.
Okay, if we could bring them into the meeting, please.
Absolutely. If you're here representing the licensee, could you please raise your hand? I'm going to promote you to a panelist so you can turn your camera on. Go, I see. Michael, I do see you as a panelist now, so you have the ability to unmute yourself and also turn on your camera. I see you.
Okay, will they only appear to us, Michael, if they're speaking?
Mr. Chair, through that should be one of your preferences on Zoom. I do see all of the panelists with cameras on it at the moment.
Okay, all right. All right, let's do this. Michael, if you could go to the agenda item, please. This public hearing is being conducted for H&P Restaurant Group, LLC, DBA Gaucho Brazilian Cuisine, located at 102 Broadway. License number is AL 24000025. This is a show cause hearing as to why the All Forms Alcoholic Beverages 7-day restaurant license, 2 a.m. closing license, common victualler license, outdoor public seating license, 10 a.m. Sunday opening license, and entertainment by devices and performers licenses should not be modified, suspended, revoked, or forfeited, or the hours during which alcoholic beverages be reduced for alleged violations of the following Somerville Licensing Commission rules and regulations. Mr. Clerk, if I could just ask you to read in the violations.
Mr. Chair, through you, Somerville Licensing Commission Rule 1.09A and Somerville Licensing Commission Rule 1.09E.
Great. Okay, so this is for Gaucho Brazilian Cuisine, or do we have a representative of the licensee present with us tonight?
Mr. Chair, through you, I do see a representative.
Okay. Okay, if you could identify yourself for the record, please. And before we go any further, let me just advise you that this is a public hearing and that anything that is said in a public hearing and any testimony you provide may be used by other government entities as your comments are a matter of public record. Please identify yourself for the record, please.
Michael Herrera.
Welcome, Mr. Herrera. Mr. Herrera, are you the manager of record for Gaucho Brazilian Cuisine?
No, my dad owns it. So right now, my manager, I think he's trying to hop on.
Okay. Michael, do we have another representative available?
No.
Mr. Chair, through you.
Oh, me? Sorry.
That's okay. Mr. Chair, through you, Michael, do you see, what's the name of the manager who would be trying to join the meeting?
His name is Ronnie.
I don't see Ronnie. I see an Alfredo Garcia. but no one named Ronnie.
Yes,
Okay,
but I work with him.
okay. Could you give us Ronnie's last name, please?
Figueroa.
Okay. Okay, Michael, can you confirm for us tonight that Ronnie Figueroa is the manager of record on our license?
Yes,
Mr. Chair, yeah, Mr. Chair, through you, I can confirm that as well.
Okay.
the Michael's coming.
Okay. Mr. Herrera, what is your position with the establishment?
I help manage it. My father owns it.
Okay, and your dad's name?
His name is Eliud Parada.
Could you spell that for us, please?
ELUID PARAD.
Thank you very much. Are you authorized to speak on behalf of the establishment?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Herrera, do you understand why you're in front of the commission tonight?
Yes.
Okay, and you received our certified letter?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Herrera, how's business down at Gaucho?
To be completely honest, we're kind of struggling at the moment.
Okay, from a business standpoint or
Yeah,
management standpoint?
yeah, from a business standpoint.
Okay. All right. So as long as you understand why you're in front of us, I'm going to get some things so that you understand why there are concerns by multiple entities in the city that the licenses are not being properly managed. Okay. So in October of 24, you and some other folks, Ronnie being one of them, came into the licensing commission. You were represented by an attorney, Ms. Vigorito, from a law firm here in the city, and you were going to establish yourselves as the new owners of record and manager for the establishment. This licensing commission granted a bunch of licenses to your establishment. One of the licenses that we granted was a 2 a.m. closing. And we based our decision on the fact that the previous owners, was your dad one of the previous owners? Or is he still one of the owners?
No, he was not.
He was not.
No.
Okay. So there were previous owners, but
Mhm.
they had been open for a while. There were no complaints that came to this licensing commission. When you came in October and your associates came in October, we granted a full boat of licenses. Let me explain to you what that means. You have a restaurant license to serve food. You have an alcoholic beverage license. You have entertainment by performers, entertainment by devices, TVs, sound systems, microphones, all the rest. You also have outdoor patio seating on the sidewalk and in the public parklet. You were granted a 2 a.m. based on the previous behavior of the previous managers. So this licensing commission gave you all of that in October. Since December of this year, it has come to the attention of neighbors, the city councilor, the Somerville Police Department, and now the Somerville Licensing Commission that there is a problem with managing the licenses. Have you had an opportunity to review the July meeting on video at which the subject came up?
Yes, I was
Okay.
there.
And Lieutenant De Oliveira presented the information to us.
Yes, I was there.
The number of violations and the number of times SPD has been called to your establishment. Okay. So we've got a number of things that I would like to address, but first I'm going to let either Commissioner Thomas or Commissioner Allen, if they have any questions of the license holder.
Yeah, I'm happy to start. I think the first question that I would have is from from Lieutenant de Oliveira's notes, there were multiple scenarios where you all were asked repeatedly in the course of a single evening to control the noise. And I wanted to ask, what sort of measures do you have for managing the noise in your establishment? How are you determining what's an acceptable level for your entertainment systems in these evening shows?
Yeah, so since the last meeting we had, I heard everything that was said. So now I think so I just been kind of just trying to hear it out. This past weekend we did have some music, but we didn't have any complaints. The police didn't come. So I guess I kind of just took note from that and just trying to keep it down, honestly.
Okay. Um,
Hi, this is Ronnie. I'm the manager, and I've been trying to log in, and I was having a difficult time. My apologies. I just jumping into the meeting. Um, if I may, whatever you need for me to give you some of the steps that we've been taking in order to eliminate some of the issues,
Okay.
please let me know.
Ronnie, if you could do me a favor, could you tell the commissioners and I the correct pronunciation of your last name?
Yes, it's Figueroa.
Figueroa. Okay, Ronnie, if you could hold on one second. Commissioner Allen is asking Mr. Herrera some questions, and then we'll come back to you. Okay?
Sure. Thank you.
Great. One of the follow-ups, a couple of follow-ups then on a couple of other issues. One of the areas of discussion was patrons waiting to be admitted to your establishment. What sort of procedures do you have for making sure that the line outside of your establishment both doesn't get overly long, and B, that patrons or patrons to be, are not creating a disturbance while they're out there?
Honestly, like I was telling everyone, business has been kind of slow, so I haven't really been getting that big of a line. But now I've just been, just trying to minimize. I can't control how many people come, but I certainly do try to keep everything under control. I got security outside and everything, so like I said, just trying to minimize everything so it doesn't go.
All right.
over.
One final question from me.
Yes.
I believe there were a couple of instances where SPD had to be called out for fights or disturbances caused by the patrons. Have you been keeping any sort of list of people who should not be admitted again due to causing a disturbance?
Yes, of course. So we try to that's a big, that's big on my part. I try to be aware of who comes in and who comes out. So we do keep a list, and if sometimes maybe a picture for reference.
Is that list available to your security that you've got working the door?
Yes, yes. It's
Okay.
it's the same security every weekend. So and I think he does a great job with that. So
All right. No further questions from me right now.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Thomas. Commissioner Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Michael, thank you for joining us tonight. Can you explain what you feel the issues are with the establishment?
So I think with the fights and everything that has been coming up, I think we've been doing a good job trying to minimize it these past couple months since that last incident. And then again with the noise. So I've installed sound absorbing foam in the establishment. So that's helped a lot. And then this week I've had the doors and windows insulated because I do am aware that the windows aren't so great. They're kind of old and fragile. So I've been insulating them, and this weekend we'll finish up sealing everything. And like I said, this weekend was super good. I've been on top of it, so I think moving forward, I think we'll be
Yeah, I do
we'll be good.
understand. The bass is a big part of the music. I completely understand that. The array system that you have in there is really not built for that square footage. So that could be part of the whole issue with
Okay.
the noise, which I'm glad you mentioned, which is the biggest issue that I've heard people complaining about. Mr. Chair, I have no further questions at this time.
If I could do add, with that system also, I kind of minimized it also. I do think that it was too much for the establishment. So I had two, so the speakers are like stacked up on top of each
Right.
other, and there's two on top. So I took one of those out and just have one now. So I think that's helped out.
What size bass cabs do you have in there?
I think they're 10 inch, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong.
They're definitely not 10-inch bass cabs.
Might be wrong.
Yeah, they're not 10. But okay, no further questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Ronnie, if you could, I know you may not have been on the call when I read a statement, but I'd like you to listen to this carefully. Please be advised that this is a public hearing and any and all testimony you provide may be used by other government entities as they will be a matter of public record. Ronnie, how long have you been the manager of record for Gaucho?
Ever since we started up in the beginning of the year.
Okay, you represented Gaucho in October of 24. Is that correct with your attorney Vigorito?
Yes,
Okay, so since October of 24, you've been the manager of record.
that's correct.
Okay. Do you understand why we had to call you in tonight?
I do.
Okay. So since the beginning of the year, we have had 62 calls, but from the Somerville Police Department received 62 calls for your establishment. Not down the street, not around the corner, your establishment. Of those, the majority are late night. They are coming in from 11:30 until 2:30 in the morning. The neighbors are upset with you. The city councilor gets those calls from the neighbors. The Somerville Police Department has responded to almost every call, whether it's coming from internal of your shop, of your establishment, or from neighbors. But the majority of those calls are late night music and you're disturbing the public. You can't do this anymore. I know you run a good establishment. We had no complaints in the previous owners, but this has now come in front of the licensing commission and we've got to do something. So it appears as though late night, the bass that's going, the crowds that are appearing on the sidewalk in front, either before you have a special guest as a DJ or a special performers, they're lined up in front trying to get in. Your capacity is 152 patrons inside and 58 patrons outside for a total capacity of 210 people that you are responsible for. So I'm looking at the police reports that have been provided to us. There are incidents all over the place. I'll just, so you know that this is not just going to be a slap on the wrist. You know, we've got noise violations, suspected overserving of your patrons, which doesn't just include this Somerville Licensing Commission. I tell everyone who holds a liquor license in this city, if anything happens to any of your patrons when they leave your establishment and they have been overserved and they get in their car and they kill someone, guess what happens? This local licensing authority gets notified by either the Attorney General or somebody who's gotten involved in that motor vehicle homicide that yours was the last establishment that that person visited. This is how serious it can get, Ron, right? So I suspect you're over-serving and your patrons get loud. Everybody's patrons get loud, but it is your responsibility to keep the noise down. It's your responsibility as the license holder to make sure you're not over-serving your customers. It is our responsibility to make sure you're not over capacity in that place. And the crowd control in front, adjacent to your establishment, is your responsibility. So you cannot have them lining up on the sidewalk and being loud, whether it's before they go in for a performance or when they come out. It is your security guard's responsibility to make sure they disperse from in front of your restaurant, because the address shows up on all these police reports, with the exception of maybe one or two. The address that's showing up is 102 Broadway. That's your address. And those people in front are not coming from other restaurants. They're your patrons. So, I'm disappointed, to be honest with you. I'm very disappointed. It was a great restaurant and an entertainment venue. And then all of a sudden, it's going off the rails. We're getting complaints from everybody. And I don't think it's a good way of expending Somerville Police Department manpower, women power, and resources. By the last count, since January, there's been over 11 Somerville Police Department personnel involved, whether it's responding to a call or a detective calling me or Lieutenant De Oliveira having to come into this commission twice. It's not a good, that's not what the cops shouldn't be going down to your place every 2 hours saying, turn down the music. So that's why you're here. It's not to be taken lightly. I'm disappointed that you guys can't run it the way it's supposed to be run. Lieutenant De Oliveira presented us some data. On that strip between McGrath Highway and the Boston City line, there are a lot of restaurants down there. No one compares to the number of calls that you guys are getting. So we're going to have to take some action tonight. There's a couple of other things I just want to go over, and I might have a question for Lieutenant De Oliveira. If I could, Ronnie, is there anything that you want to say in response to what I've just said?
Yes, first of all, thank you for the opportunity, and I'm sorry that we have to come up to this meeting this way. We received the first notifications, and I did receive the first couple of emails, and we are taking full responsibility of what is happening. Absolutely, there is not acceptable for anybody to, especially for the police department of Somerville, to be using the time, as you say, this way. We are taking care of what the noise and what the establishment can actually hold in terms of how many people are in. One of the reasons why there is a line is because we're not allowed anybody who can no longer be inside to be part of the internal clients. In terms of us managing the operation, again, we have been proactive in terms of what we can actually accomplish and accommodate inside. With the 62 calls that you said that you received and 11 police response, how do we determine the calls and how many police visits we have obtained? And is this a record? There is a private record, so this is a public records that we can take a look at what we have been doing in terms of the other ones. And it's not because I am questioning anything in regards of what is happening. It's just that when I get together with the owners and the rest of the managers, I can actually go over. I've been working in this industry, as you know, for over 30 years. And quite honestly, I have an impeccable record in terms of licenses and everything that I've been part of it. I'm 60 years old, and I've been working right now with Michael, who is a green and fresh going into the business. I am I'm not happy with it, and I'm not easy when it comes to this kind of complaints, I will put my foot down. Again, I am as well as the rest of the managers and owners taking full responsibility of what's happening. I am not taking this lightly, and the reason why I'm saying it this way is because Michael is right here, and I will take actions and solving whatever it is that it needs to be solved. I have, again, for over 35 years, being part of the Massachusetts food and beverage operations, as well as country clubs and hotels, and not a small business, not a small names. You know, the list may be long but distinguished. Again, Chair Lynch, I know that you're not happy. I am not happy, and maybe it comes across as caviar, but we'll be taking care of this, and I'll promise you that I will, if it's need be, send you a plan of actions on what we need to do in order to eliminate these kind of things. There is absolutely no, this is just no excuse for what it could happen.
Okay, Ronnie,
Yeah.
couple of questions for you. Are you there every weekend?
Not in terms of the nighttime when you mentioned in the 11 o'clock now. And the reason why is because when I have been in there, it may not be that weekend. So I have one or twice be over the weekend, but it was not a weekend that we had this kind of an issue, this kind of an incident. Maybe when it happened is unfortunately that I have not been there. But Michael and the owner have been in there, and now that we know, they know that I know. So again, you know,
Then Ronnie, a couple of other questions. Maybe Michael couldn't help you with this. When the police are called, they usually go to either one of your security guards or to Mr. Herrera and identify themselves. They're in uniform and they say, I'm here because we have a noise complaint. Do you keep a log of that yourself?
the times when I have been informed that a police have been in there, I do have a log personally. I am going to now compare mine to theirs, and make sure that we actually have, well, look, having the records and stuff like that is something that you have done already. It's like when you get a point, you receive the point already. You can go back and say, well, the only thing that we can actually do, Commissioner Chair, sorry, is moving forward, make sure that the problem has been solved. You know, we can talk a lot about what is happening, how it happened, and all these kind of a thing. The fact of the matter is it happened. The thing that we can do is to move forward and solve the problem, regardless of whatever it is.
Well, that's what this commission is here for. We're going to help you solve the problem.
Thank you.
And the commissioners and I have worked together for a few years now. Commissioner Allen and I have worked together a lot. We're going to solve the problem tonight because, quite frankly, the establishment has become a public nuisance. Between the noise, between the 911 calls for assistance, a sick person. I don't know how many sick people are actually in your establishment, but I see those show up on the police reports. Do you have security cameras inside of your establishment?
Yes, we do.
You do. How many cameras, Michael?
In total, it might be 13.
Okay.
I might be wrong, but around that.
Okay. I think both of you can understand that we don't like doing this. We don't like pulling in our licensees because we have a pretty good record here in the city. For folks who manage their licenses properly, we've only had a handful over the years I've been doing this of folks that we have to bring in with serious violations. So we cannot speak about shots fired. in front of your establishment or one door down from your establishment? Because my understanding is that is still under investigation. However, that police report reveals to me that whoever fired that shot was one of your patrons. So I'm just going to tell you, this commission is not going to take it lightly. We are going to work with SPD. We're going to take recommendations from SPD, and we're going to enforce the rules and regs. So, commissioners, do you have any other questions that you would like to ask Ronnie or Michael at this point? Because I'd like to go over to Lieutenant De Oliveira for a minute.
I have one more question. So, Mr. Figueroa, you mentioned that you have some records of police calls. You're not sure if they're comprehensive. We heard from Lieutenant Oliveira that at least once they have been out to your establishment multiple times over the course of an evening. Do you have in your notes any time that the police had to come by multiple times in a single day?
I don't have notes of the police being coming multiple times. None, I haven't noticed that ever any shot was fired.
Okay. I won't get into the shot, but what I'll say there is either like there is a serious breakdown in communication in your establishment then that you do not know what is happening there. That's all I have on this.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen. I'll follow it up, Ronnie. The police report the police report indicates to us that on April 27th, right after midnight, with multiple calls coming in through 911 about shots fired, Officer Cleary interviewed Mr. Herrera. So I'm not sure, like Commissioner Allen says, where the breakdown is coming in, but shots fired in front of my home, I would be sure to have a report. So I'm not admonishing Mr. Herrera. I'm saying our duty of care in this commission is to make sure the Somerville public is protected. So I don't know who's coming in and out of your establishment, but you might want to take a look at how you advertise for your performers as well. So, can I go to Lieutenant De Oliveira, please? Is he still with us?
I'm here, Mr. Chair.
Lieutenant De Oliveira, there was one of the incidents had the indicator, and I don't know if this is SPD's moniker. It said liquor violation. Can you, Michael, would you be able to pull up that one report and so that we can all look at it and see what that liquor violation was? Are you familiar with it, Lieutenant De Oliveira?
Mr. Chair, through you, yes, that's when I went to speak with Mr. Herrera. Every time there is, that's just the name that's given to the call, liquor license violation investigation. So they just summarizes that. That was on May 1st that I went to speak with Mr. Herrera. Soon after the shooting incident, we had a conversation in his office, and that's how the call was entered.
I'm sorry. Now I understand it. That moniker that was on the report, liquor violation, doesn't necessarily mean that they were found serving underage people.
Mr. Chair, no, that's correct. It's just that an investigator went there to speak with them for some reason.
I got it. Okay. All right. Outside security. How many security folks do you usually have on Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
I have 4 usually.
And where are they located, Michael? Mainly indoors?
2 outside and 2 inside. And then when we shut doors,
2 outside, 2 inside.
yeah, and then when
How long after closing do your security guards leave the public property and go back inside?
they start heading home around 2:15, around
Okay.
there.
What if there's a crowd out in front? Do they stay with the crowd and say, you guys got to leave, disperse?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And how about crowd control when you have one of your special DJ guests or one of your special performers? Do they stand outside to try to control the crowds that are out there then?
No, usually the performers stay inside and pack up their stuff.
Yes, I understand that, but if you have somebody who's a real attractive performer, you could have a lot of people trying to get in, right? And you could have people waiting out on the sidewalk. Do you usually disperse one of your security guards out there and say, guys, keep it down?
Yeah, I do have one to make sure that everyone leaves appropriately.
Okay. All right. Crowd management in front of 104 Broadway is your responsibility, adjacent to the building. Okay, so that I'm going to point that out time and time again. Just because they're on public property doesn't mean it's not your responsibility. Okay, gentlemen, commissioners, thank you, Lieutenant De Oliveira. Ronnie and Michael, I'm sorry we had to do this. I'm disappointed, but anything else you want to say before the commissioners deliberate?
Yes, I do have one more thing to say. So like me and Ronnie want to, work with you guys, and we obviously want to keep everyone safe. We want to, stay between the lines and stuff like that. And I've tried to get in contact with Lieutenant to see if maybe we could get a police detail. We're super open to it, and then just to move forward and have everything
Well,
straight.
as I said before, Michael, that's what we're here for. We're going to help you with that.
Of course.
All right. Anything else?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I know that it's maybe a little too late since there's been 62 calls and 11 police activities. We take full responsibility of what is happening. We also understand the seriousness of what is happening. I would like for you to please take into consideration that this is a business that we've taken over. They had an impeccable reputation, and perhaps we have not yet get to the level of what the previous owners and administration were. But based on the fact that we have the issue with crowd control and not necessarily liquor violations, the police just take that under consideration. The crowd in occasionally is something that is not necessarily just us not having the experience of how to control, but it's something that many of us in different type of industries, and the hospitality industries, is something that becomes a little bit difficult to manage. I would like for you to please take that under consideration. And the fact that it's been difficult right now in business, and it's not an excuse. It's an explanation of the fact that business have been very difficult. Not just us, it's difficult to actually put this kind of a face, because along the street, as you said, there is a lot of businesses, and we are responsible for this. But again, based on this particular incidents and these particular matters, how we have been able to handle some of this stuff, just take that under consideration, and that will probably be my only approach to the.
Yeah, I will, Ronnie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Allen.
That's all.
Your pleasure, Commissioner Allen.
Yeah, let me put out a couple of options and take the temperature. The first being that I'll flag that usually, historically, for 2 a.m. liquor licenses, we've asked an establishment to have a track record. We waived that here due to the existing business. If a business came to us with the history over the last short period of time that we've seen here, we would absolutely not grant a 2 a.m. license. So I'll put out as one of the options, modifying this license to remove that 2 a.m. extension. Beyond that, I think I'm amenable to the option of requiring a detail, but I'll flag that we know that SPD cannot always provide those, and I'm not confident that that would be a reliable option in the long term to solve this problem. So I really am leaning towards starting off with a reduction of hours here. That's it for me right now.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas.
I think
Commissioner
one of the
Thomas,
main issues. Excuse me.
Yeah, Commissioner Thomas, were you muted there for a minute?
No. Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I think the main concerns again is the sound, and the area that we're dealing with here is just so heavily populated with the residents that have been there for a while, and it really just doesn't fit for what they're trying to do at this particular point. But I'm in line with Commissioner Allen at this point, as well as the police detail requirement that was also suggested.
Thank you very much. All set?
All set.
Okay. Okay, I've thought long and hard about it, but we have to send a message. You know, it's been going on for 7 months, probably longer, but the reports that we got from the Lieutenant De Oliveira, SPD, were from the beginning of the year, and I'm not happy with that number of calls, resources going down to this establishment, and then wasting our officers' time because they're getting a complaint about noise, and then 20 minutes later, they get another call saying noise again. So between Michael and Ronnie, we're gonna have to do something about the noise. I agree that the 2 a.m. closing is not a right of your privilege of your license. It is a privilege that we granted to you back in October with no track record. So I'm in agreement with both commissioners that we're going to have to roll back that 2 a.m. As far as the entertainment by devices and performers, indoors and outdoors, I have some thoughts on it. And as far as the hours of operation for food and alcohol, I have some thoughts on it. So I'm in agreement with both commissioners that we're going to have to do something about the 2 a.m. closing, and I'm in agreement with both commissioners about Friday and Saturday evenings, a police presence. So, gentlemen, look, I love our entertainment and dining and nightlife in this city. But when something like this comes to our attention, we're forced to do something. I have 3 things I would like to do tonight, commissioners, and they are 3 different motions, and we can take them up one by one. Would you like to hear the first motion?
Yes, please.
And I'm not going to ask for a second at this time. I'm going to ask for discussion. Motion number 1 is to revoke the 2025 2 a.m. closing license and amend the hours of operation to 1 a.m. The second motion would be to suspend the entertainment by devices and performers indoors and outdoors held in abeyance until a date certain. Motion 3 would be to amend the hours of operating food and alcohol from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. held in abeyance for a date certain. I would also recommend that on Thursday and Friday night, they have a police detail. Let me explain it to the license holders. Ronnie, I think you probably know what in abeyance means. It means we're watching, all right? So we're going to make I'm going to make the recommendation. I don't know how the commission is going to vote on it, but I think on motion 1 is to revoke your 2 a.m. closing time and roll it back to 1 a.m. The suspension of your entertainment by devices and performers indoors and out held in abeyance means you keep your current hours for entertainment by devices and performers But if we have any more complaints, 911 calls, customers having fisticuffs out in front of your place or brandishing a firearm, we're going to do something more serious. And same thing for motion number 3. We'll hold it in abeyance until October 31st. Gentlemen, that's what I've got. I want police presence down there because, as has been explained to us before, if anything happens at that establishment, it's on us for not doing anything about it. Gentlemen, what do you think? Motion 1, 2, 3. You want to discuss it?
Yeah, I can hop in. Absolutely, I agree on motion 1. And I think the thing that I would flag is, despite the discussion of like fixing this and moving forward, the time to amicably fix this and move forward was after the 2nd or 3rd or 4th police call. And at the point where it's gotten to us, we've got this track record, it's too late for that. We have to take action. So absolutely, I agree with motion 1. And similarly, I think we need to do something, but we clearly, obviously, we do not want to shut down the entertainment program. But holding motions 2 and 3 in abeyance makes it clear that if this does not resolve this, these are the next steps. To use this as an opportunity to improve your processes, to improve your security, to improve your communication with whoever is working there in these nights and you. So you think about the processes you need to build here. You need to get an incident report at the end of every weekend. What happened, not just things that actually went wrong, what were near misses. Oh, we had a hothead, but we calmed him down. I don't know. Like, you need to have communication. You need to have a process here so you can track it and show that you're staying on top of it. And this should give you that breathing space to input. But then, advance. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen. Commissioner Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do keep in mind that, a lot of money was spent on renovations for this establishment. That is in the back of my mind. I'm more in line with motion 1 for sure. Motion 2 and 3, I'm describe a little bit more thought. I just don't think, based on the answers I've heard from Michael, that there's a firm grasp on just the whole process for the night. So I do think they would be back here fairly quickly on those 2 motions. So I'd probably just focus in on 1 at this point. Again, it's a beautiful place. Looks very nice. A lot of money was spent, but I think, again, I'm very happy to hear about the soundproofing. That was very encouraging. But I think you'll need a lot more of that based on just the bass that's being heard 3 houses down, which is just ridiculous. But, I have no further points, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Thomas, on your kind of looking at motion number 2, if they get the soundproofing in and there's no more calls for, loud performers indoors, problem solved.
Right.
Mending the hours of operation for food and alcohol to 11 p.m., held in abeyance until October 31st. It gives them plenty of time to have a meeting with staff and saying, we just got a dressing down by the licensing commission. And they're doing us a favor by holding these punishments, so to speak, or amendments to our license until October 31st. That gives all of your staff, Ronnie and Michael, it gives you a lot of time to figure this out. But if anything comes in between now and then, you got a problem. So let's take it one by one, gentlemen, if you're ready.
I see Lieutenant De Oliveira's hands raised.
Sorry, Lieutenant De Oliveira.
Mr. Chair, thank you. Through you, there was a question in the last meeting about whether or not their license permits a dance floor. I don't know if you want to address that.
It has been addressed to my satisfaction, so let me go back to the licensees. Ronnie or Michael, do you allow dancing in your establishment by your patrons?
Michael, we don't allow dancing. We can prevent occasionally when people get up and they're closest to the table and they decided to fall one-on-one and dance.
Yeah,
We are dealing with I don't want to sound in any possible way want to cross the line on see who our clients are or patrons are. They are people who like and are used to like any other kind of race, they will love to get up and dance. Okay, we're going to talk about Hispanic, Brazilians. I am from Spain. I'm Hispanic, and we like to get up and dance occasionally in any source of music that entertain us. We can prevent in some cases where they stand up and dance. Do we have a dance floor? We don't.
okay.
That's the reason why we
That's what I was looking for, Ronnie. You do not have a dance floor, therefore
don't.
you do not have a dance entertainment by performers license, entertainment by patrons license, which indicates they can dance. And Ronnie, honestly, culturally, dancing knows no bounds. I'm Irish. I've been known to get up when drop kick Murphys come on. So, you know, it's swaying to the music or singing along to the music, perfectly acceptable. It's when it gets out of control. You have a duty to protect your patrons, you have a duty to protect your employees, and you have a duty to protect the public from unwanted interference. So that's what we're trying to do. I told you we were going to try to help you. So, Ronnie, I get, you know, you've been in the business for a while, but this is not a country club in Weston. This is in the middle of a very densely populated area in Somerville. And people have kids, they have seniors, you know, parents that they're trying to get to sleep. So let's do this. Commissioners, would you like to move the motions?
Yes. Would you like to handle them separately or all together, Chairman?
Separately, please.
Excellent.
I'd
I
like to
will
make-
start. Oh,
I'd
go
like
ahead,
to
Chairman.
Sorry, I'd like to make a motion to revoke the 2025 2 a.m. closing license and amend the hours of operation to 1 a.m.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. On motion 2, to suspend the entertainment by devices and performers indoor and out in abeyance until October 31st, 2025.
Seconded.
Nay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
2 votes in the affirmative, the motion carries. On motion 3, amend the hours of operations, food and alcohol to 11 p.m., held in abeyance until October 31st.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
2 commissioners in the affirmative, the motion carries. Michael Potier, if I can ask your assistance on this. Let me read this statement. Additionally, as a condition of the amended licenses, the licensee is required to have SPD presence outside the establishment on Friday and Saturday evenings between the hours of 11 and 1 a.m., beginning August 1st and ending on October 31st, 2025. Do I need a vote on that, or can we just make it a condition of the amended licenses?
Mr. Chair, through you, I believe we could just make that a condition.
That is my condition. Somerville Police Department presence outside the establishment on Friday and Saturday evenings between the hours of 11 and 1 a.m., beginning August 30th.
Mr. Chair, I apologize. I stand corrected. That condition does need a vote as well.
Thank you. So we'll go to motion number 4.
I would like to clarify
Yes.
if in the event that we pass this, if they request a detail from SPD and SPD is unable to provide a detail for that day, will they be required to close or will they be allowed to continue without the detail?
They are allowed to stay open without the detail. That's on SPD. This is a recommendation from SPD that they have weekend on-duty cops there. If SPD cannot fulfill the request, it's not on Gaucho.
Understood.
So on motion number 4.
Mr. Chair, through you, just briefly to confirm, this is a condition to request SPD presence.
That is correct.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, as a condition of the amended licenses, the licensee must request SPD presence outside the establishment on Friday and Saturday evenings between the hours of 11 and 1 a.m. beginning August 1st and ending on October 31st, 2025.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Gentlemen from Gaucho Brazilian Cuisine, let's do better. These 3 things that are coming down your way are held in abeyance, but SPD, your neighbors, the licensing commission, and the city councilor, we want you to succeed. We want you to stay in Somerville. So let's do better.
Mr. Chair, through you briefly before we depart, could you provide a little bit more clarity on abeyance until what type of event, please, for the record?
It is the date.
Just a date.
It's the date until October 31st. Does that clarify it?
Mr. Chair, through you, just in terms of what might trigger this, any specific event, or you're just the date itself?
Any events that are reported to us, we make the determination with SPD on whether or not we're going to bring them back in, or we trigger. All right, that's it. We're suspending your entertainment by devices and performers indoors and out permanently.
Understood, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Does that make sense? Yeah. We can't actually say, Michael, what will trigger an automatic suspension.
Understood.
I'm sorry, that has to come back into the licensing commission from SPD or a city councilor or somebody saying, hey, wait a minute. Or it could come in from the ABCC. The ABCC could do an unannounced visit and they find serving under 21. I mean, that's all together. That's a different kettle of fish right there. So that would trigger them coming back into us as well. Make any sense?
Understood. It does to me, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's do this. We'll work with you. Gaucho Brazilian Cuisine, our best. There's no more business. Any Michael or Ronnie, would you like to say anything at this point?
Yes, please.
Yep, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I understand what is coming over, and I agree and I accept everything that's coming this way. Thank you for the understanding of us trying to succeed. My question is, in terms of background, personally, is this coming into a record, or this is for the establishment itself? Personal record.
So let me try to explain. You are the manager of record. This is an official violation hearing. I honestly don't know if the ABCC would be required. I could ask the clerk's office tomorrow if they are required. We ask the question, Ronnie, as a matter of course in this commission, when folks come in and apply for a license, we ask them if they have ever been brought forward for a violation hearing by the local licensing authority or by the state. So if you go to another city or another town, they don't ask you that question on an application or in a verbal hearing. I don't know the answer. We can find out for you, but certainly locally, this is up now on the record for Gaucho Brazilian Cuisine, 102 Broadway.
Okay, so for the establishment, it's definitely something that goes into a record.
Yes,
And the record will be for how long?
it stays with the license, Ronnie.
Days? Okay. Okay. Yes, if I could please get the information on whether or not it goes into something that is personal, I will please appreciate it if you can send me that information. Thank you.
Sure. Stay with us. Michael, if you could find that out and communicate directly to Ronnie tomorrow or the next day. I'm not positive from the state standpoint, from the local standpoint, as long as he's the manager of record of this establishment, we know about it.
Mr. Chair, through you, the only thing that I could think of from our office is we'll need to send an amended hours to the ABCC. I can't speak on behalf of what they will do based on that, but the
Correct.
ABCC license will need to match the local license.
Correct. Okay, Ronnie, we'll get a definitive answer to you in writing.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Gentlemen, thank you very much on this hot July evening. To the licensees, best wishes. Lieutenant De Oliveira, Captain Richardson, Commissioners, Michael, make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, thank you very much, everybody. Good night.
I
And I.
All right.